Hello Libra, this is Jill. Welcome to Tarot by the Sea. Okay, I'm going to do something a little bit different. Valentine's Day is coming up. Boo, says some people. Yay, say other people. I'm going to do love reading, and I'm going to do it in a slightly different way. Okay, I've just come up with a new spread, and we'll see how it works. I don't normally work from spreads, but I'm going to give it a go, and I'm going to see how it works. And you can tell me if it resonates for you or not. If you're in a relationship, maybe it'll apply to you. If you're not in a relationship, maybe you're interested in someone. If you're not interested in anyone, you haven't found anyone you're interested in, then someone will come along at some point. And this will be their energy. And it could be where they are now. It could be how the relationship's going to go when you get into it. If you're single and not looking, it could just be how you're feeling about relationships at the moment. So let's have a look and see what comes out. Now the way it's going to work, I've got the Gilded Tarot by Ciro Marchetti, and I have the Easy Tarot Handbook by Josephine Ellishaw. Now, this is going to be a bit of a kind of learning one. If you're not interested in that, that's absolutely fine. What I'm going to do is if any court cards come out, I'm going to read them from the book, and it'll give you kind of a better overview of the card. So maybe that would be interesting to you. And that's a really good book, actually. I would highly recommend it. So it will tell you more about the person, and it will tell you more about their energy. Because sometimes I think as tarot readers we tend to do well, it's the Five of Cups, it's crying over spilt milk. But actually there's far more to it than that. And I tend to read quite intuitively anyway, so I don't always use the normal kind of meanings of the cards. But it's sometimes good to go old school, so let's give it a go. Now the way that it works is we have the overview, we have a column for them, a column for you, and the outcome. Okay, so I'm going to try so hard to stop saying okay. We have the overview, then we have the energy coming in for them or with them, the energy coming in with you. We have what they want, what you want, how they feel about you, how you feel about them, how they see the relationship going, how you see the relationship going, and then the outcome. So let's give it a go. If I clarify, I'm going to use the Fairy Tarot deck by Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine. So let's have a look at Libra. And the time period will be kind of round about Valentine's Day. Okay, it's kind of where your head's at on Valentine's Day. So it could be a short-term relationship that you're in, could be a long-term relationship that you're in, could just be someone that you've got your eye on at that time, could just be how you're feeling on Valentine's Day. If you're feeling all sweary about the fact it's Valentine's Day or you don't care, it might come out in the reading. Okay, you have the Ten of Cups in reverse as your overview card. They are coming in with Temperance. You are coming in with... what are you coming in with? Oh, you're coming in with the King of Pentacles in reverse. What do they want from the relationship? They nearly came out, they didn't quite. Ooh. Five of Wands really wants to come out, but it's not. It's on the top of the deck. That's 3 times. Maybe it's coming out later. They have hope. Maybe there have been arguments in the past, but they have hope. And I'll show you the pictures in a minute. What you want from the relationship. It's obviously a lot of things because there's a load of cards just falling out. Maybe you want a lot from the relationship. Oh. Okay, you have the High Priestess. But you also have the King of Swords and you have the Two of Cups. Put it all back. I've got a new guide and they throw cards at me and I go, I don't even know what you're trying to tell me right now. So, but it's getting less, and you have the Queen of Cups. I just did a reading for you and I realised I didn't have my microphone on and it's not usable. Oh, stop throwing cards, please. Oh, my goodness gracious me. And you were coming up, your energy for what you were bringing in with you was the Queen of Cups. So it's the same one. How do they feel about you? How do they feel about you? How do they feel about you? The world. Maybe they feel it's over. Or they want to move into a new phase. You feel about them that it's the Two of Cups. How they feel the relationship's going. The Moon. Gosh. How you feel the relationship's going. Okay. Six of Swords. And the outcome is, drum roll please. I shouldn't joke, because for some people this might be a really bad reading, so, and you might be really hurt. So I have to be very aware of that. When I'm doing readings, sometimes I get a little bit glib about it, and I shouldn't. Ten of Swords and the Emperor. I'm going to read you the Emperor because they are pretty much a character card, aren't they? So let's go to the Major Arcana, and I'm going to read it to you. I would highly recommend this book. It has all the cards in it, and it describes them really well. And it also has spreads that you can do too. As the Empress represents the archetypal female, so the Emperor represents her, I can't even use words, masculine counterpart. As befitting his title, we see him as a regal-looking character. His head is crowned with laurel leaves representing triumph and success. He is suitably attired in rich and opulent gowns covered in symbols of the sun, the masculine sign, even to the clasp that holds his cloak of red representing fire, which again is a male element. Even the stone he wears is rubies, a further representation of the sun. So this could be a Leo, because the sun card is Leo, okay, and this is definitely a fire sign. His robes and adornments symbolise the status of his position and his material success. I love the way she writes. Behind him we see the signs of the zodiac displayed, but this time they have progressed to the more earthly representations they are known by. His sceptre, topped with what appears to be planetary solar system, points to heaven and earth. The hand that holds the top of the sceptre reveals his index finger pointing to the heavens to receive wisdom, and his other hand shows his index finger pointing to the earth where he uses that power. This also shows the need for rational thought with which to rule his subjects. With so many masculine symbols everywhere, here suggests a powerful and dynamic man in control of the situation. The number 4 represents stability, logic and reason. And it says, when the Emperor appears in a reading, it is a sign of financial stability, ambition, authority and also achievement. You need to keep a calm head at this time, make decisions based on facts and not be overly influenced by your emotions. You have the Queen of Wands, Queen of Cups. This is a powerful card and a wonderful omen for business and career matters, as it shows great progress. Well placed, this card suggests you're in a powerful position to achieve your goals. In relationships, this is the important bit, it can also remind us to look at the situation in a more rational manner and not to become overly emotional regarding issues, to look at things with a clear head in order to achieve successful results and financial stability for the family. It also represents a powerful male influence. Do you see why I'm saying that it's important to actually go back and look at these cards in full? Because in a normal reading, that would pretty much come up as someone who is probably an air sign, who's in control, who's successful, but you miss all that detail, okay? So that's the Emperor. So I think perhaps this is telling you, you may be dealing with an Aries, but it may also be that you need to keep a clear head at this point. Now this person's coming in with Temperance. Now, the reason that I said that this was really, really interesting is because the energy they're coming in with is Temperance. And what they want, they have the Star. Now I'm going to show you, sorry, I have to move over here, and I hope the microphone's not making too much noise. Now if you look at those two cards, look at the water, look at the jugs that they're holding, okay? Temperance is holding a cup, and in that cup there is fire and there is water. Now fire is passion and water is emotion. Now there is fire and passion in that cup, and it is going into the cup at the bottom, but it's just the emotion that's going into the bottom. Okay. Now, she has also got her eyes closed. I put my glasses on to see that the other day. She has got her eyes closed, so she's not seeing this passion and emotion. And perhaps for some, the emotion is draining away. For some, it doesn't really matter whether she's seeing it, the other cup's getting filled anyway. Perhaps she's not looking at it, but it's emotionally fulfilling for her anyway. Perhaps it used to be all fiery and passionate, and now it's just emotional. And that's all good, I guess, for some of you. If you look at the star card, and these are both major arcana, okay? If you look at the star card, which is the hope card, she's pouring away emotions from both jugs. So maybe this was emotionally fulfilling at some point, but because this person's not seeing the passion coming back, maybe the emotion's draining away. I just thought that was interesting. I thought that was really interesting. Right, now where do we go from here? There's your overview cards. We have the world, we have the moon. Were they the right way around? I think so. So this person's coming in with temperance. Now temperance is a major arcana card. And it's basically, it's about patience and balance and all of those things. Okay, it's a very fiery card. So maybe someone's trying to temper their passions and keep it on an emotional level. The last reading that I did for you, the one that was there, is not the reading that I'm doing now. So actually I'm going to ignore it. It was a very full-on energy coming in there, but in this reading, this person's tempering their passion, they're tempering their emotions. They're not looking at it. Perhaps they're seeing this passion and emotion in front of them, but they're not looking at it, and they're kind of tempering those emotions. The overview card that you have is the Ten of Cups. Now the Ten of Cups is kind of like the emotionally fulfilled, happy home, happy wife, happy kids, happy dog, happy goldfish, happy everything, okay? But you've got it in reverse. Maybe this is something that you had, maybe it's something that you don't have anymore. It may be that you haven't got to this point yet. Maybe that's what it is. So that's the energy they're bringing in. The energy that you're bringing in is the King of Pentacles in the reverse. In the upright, the King of Pentacles, he's really stable, he's really awesome. Well, in a kind of slow and pentacly kind of way. I don't really do pentacle energy very well, in fairness. Maybe some of you are just not having anything to do with the King of Pentacles. Maybe you've walked away from a King of Pentacles. Maybe that's what it is. Right, I'm not going to read all of it, okay, the King of Pentacles. What I'm going to read is the negative, because the negative is what's coming through here. And this is in the negative, they may be extremely stubborn, blunt to the point of exasperation, overly materialistic and miserly. I wonder if there's anything in there about relationships. No, there isn't. But maybe you've walked away from that. Maybe you've walked away from the King of Pentacles, this earth sign person who would be very successful and financially abundant and stable and all those things. Maybe you've walked away from them. Or maybe you're just not feeling that way. Maybe you're not feeling emotionally stable. Maybe you're not feeling, actually it's not much to do with emotions in Pentacles, to be honest. Maybe you're not feeling financially stable at the moment. You're not feeling like the King of Pentacles. You're not feeling like you're successful yet. You're not feeling like you're financially stable yet. And in some ways that's not a bad thing. In some ways that's not a bad thing, because we have the King of Pentacles in reverse, and then we have the Queen of Wands. So maybe you're not feeling this kind of... The Kings can be kind of cold. You know, the Queens are more nurturing and more loving and things like that. Maybe you're not focused on your money. Maybe you're focused on love, possibly for some of you. Or maybe you're feeling that kind of loving energy. Or maybe you've walked away from the King of Pentacles, and maybe the King of Pentacles is in an unhappy home. And maybe they're balancing their passion. for something else, possibly the Queen of Cups. Now, and maybe they have hope, because what they want is they have hope. And what you want is the Queen of Cups. The Star card is basically hope. Okay, it's using your intuition, but she's looking at this emotion pouring away. And I think she's hoping for the Sun, because we have two kind of sort of representations of the Sun, if you look at them that way. You've got the little sunflower there, and that could kind of be the Sun as well, couldn't it? I know it's meant to be a star, but the Sun is a star. So we need to keep that in consideration. So you could be dealing with a Leo. This is fire as well. It's a fire sign as well. So we have the Queen of Cups. And the Emperor's kind of, the way the cards are laid out, the Emperor's kind of looking at the Queen of Cups. This Aries is kind of looking at the Queen of Cups, but she's kind of looking over his head. But they're both quite distracted. They're not really kind of connecting at this point. So we have the Queen of Cups. The Queen of Cups is kind, gentle, sensitive and thoughtful, charming, socially polite, creative and artistic. She sometimes can appear switched off from the outside world, as she's quite in tune with her inner world, which she can easily slip into. She prefers one-to-one friends or conversations rather than large groups. Usually quite feminine and empathic by nature, she can at times be melancholy or prone to shifting moods. In this card, note her detached and distant expression. That's exactly what I said. She's kind of looking towards the Emperor, but she's detached. She's detached. The Queen of Cups likes things to be aesthetically pleasing. Her home and her clothes and accessories all carry some small fancy little detail that sets them apart. However understated, you will find telltale signs of this everywhere you look. Her pen, her diary, items on her desk and so on, so this could be to do with work. Her home and clothing show taste and a touch of artistic flair, no matter what her budget, and her home is a place that reflects a sense of harmony that she needs. The Queen of Cups is the one who notices when someone doesn't appear themselves, as she's very sensitive to others' feelings. She would not force herself upon others, tending to be somewhat restrained in her nature, but if she's a good friend of yours, she will spend hours listening to your problems, empathising, offering support and well thought out suggestions. Whereas the Queen of Wands would be happy to do something practical for you, unlike this Queen, she can also appear dismissive with her cheery attitude and sometimes comment that she's sure everything will be fine in the end, or that she doesn't know what to suggest. So note the difference between the two elements. You'd feel with the Queen of Cups as if someone really listened and cared. The Queen of Cups is frequently found in the helping, caring, healing professions, nursing, teaching, alternative therapies, psychics, the arts, interior design, fashion and so on. Romantically, now I think this is important, romantically these people can be easily hurt due to their sensitive nature. As they get older and learn from these experiences, you will find they become quite protective of themselves, and so they may appear difficult to fathom or seem aloof, but they are protecting the sensitive core of their emotions. Gentleness, kindness and a sense of security are required in their relationships. Harsh words or actions cut deep. I'm not going to read you the negative because she's not in the negative, okay? If you're cross-watching, if you're the Emperor, perhaps, or the King of Pentacles, if you're dealing with the Queen of Cups and you have hope for a relationship, you will need to be very gentle with them. Because the Queen of Cups is a sensitive little flower, okay? And she can be quite easily hurt. She's been hurt in the past before, and she's quite protective of herself. She's very loving, and she wants to be loved, and she wants to give love. But if you're dealing with the Queen of Cups, or you're cross-watching, for the Libra, because this is in the Libra side, you need to be very gentle with them if you have any hope of this going forward. Okay. Right, how they feel about you. The World. Maybe they think this is the end of the cycle. Okay, maybe they think it's the end of the cycle. In this card, this person is looking away from the Libra side. So if that's you, perhaps you're looking away from this person. If it's the other person, which I kind of hope it isn't because they've got the star, and and they're looking towards the Queen of Cups. Perhaps they think you've turned away. Perhaps they think that Libra's turned away, and they're not interested in them. Perhaps they're not interested in them. Or perhaps this person's turned away from you, and it's the end of the relationship. How you're feeling about them, you may feel this is a soulmate relationship. You may feel this is a soulmate relationship. You could also be making a decision about love. What am I getting? The Two of Cups. Possibly you're on the same page, so if they're walking away, you kind of agree with them. For some of you, there was a massive connection there at some point, but somebody has walked away. Okay, and it could have been you when you see the next cards. It could have been you. Or it could be this person is walking away. And maybe that's, but maybe this is what you thought. Maybe this is what you thought. Maybe you thought this was maybe you thought this was a soulmate connection. Then you have the Moon. So maybe this person has been looking and has hopes about this Queen of Cups, and that Queen of Cups isn't you. And unfortunately, and that's why they're leaving. That's possible. It could be another it could be a water sign. And maybe this is just coming to light. Okay, maybe there are secrets coming out, because we have the partial moon here, and when I show you your card, you will understand what I'm saying. This is the partial moon here. Maybe secrets are coming to light. And maybe these secrets have come out and they're still willing to work on the relationship with you. Or maybe you're willing to work on the relationship with them. But I don't think so, because how you see the relationship going is you're moving away to less turbulent waters. And the reason I pointed out the moon in the last card is because now things are illuminated. You have a full moon now. Maybe things came out at the last, over a period of time. And now you know all the details and you're moving away. For some of you, all the details have come out because actually these cards are now on top of each other. And when I put the cards down, she's actually moving towards this soulmate card. So maybe things have come out. Maybe this hope that they had is a shared hope. And you're moving towards it and away from more turbulent times. You're taking those lessons that you learned with this King of Pentacles with you, and you're moving towards this soulmate connection instead with this person who had hope. And maybe they think you're their world, and they're willing to work on it as well. That's possibly if you've got water in your chart, I think. And then you have the Ten of Swords. So for some of you, this secret has come out, and basically you're feeling incredibly stabbed in the back by this. You feel betrayed, you feel hurt, and you've just had enough. But for some of you, you are moving away from less turbulent times. If you look at those three cards, okay. If you look at those three cards, which are all lying on top of each other now, you have being stabbed in the back, moving away towards a soulmate connection. So maybe the being stabbed in the back was the outcome. Or maybe this is happening now, and you're taking the swords that you want to take, the lessons that you want to take from it, and you're just moving on to another. You will be moving on to something that's better for you. And you may be feeling incredibly hurt at this point, but you're moving on to something better. Okay, you will be moving on to this Two of Cups. You will be moving on to a soulmate connection, possibly with the Emperor, and it will make you feel far more like the Queen of Pentacles than the Fool. And maybe it just, yeah, maybe you're just moving on. That felt like a really messy read, Libra. It didn't flow as well as it should. Maybe things are a little bit challenging at the moment because things aren't flowing, and we do have that Temperance. Maybe someone is holding back how they feel emotionally towards you. And you're in the dark as to how they actually feel, and that's the sense that I'm getting. Sorry, I hope you didn't hear that. My stomach's making noises because I haven't had breakfast yet. And it's now 12 o'clock. Oh my goodness, where did that go? So maybe you just kind of don't know where you stand with someone. And that's kind of hard energy to be in, and maybe that's why it didn't flow so much, because you can't really make any decisions. And you had a lot of moons, and perhaps towards the end of this period, or the end of this kind of cycle of whatever's happening, maybe you do find out, and maybe you just move away. Right, let's do you 3 of these fairy tarot cards, and then we'll see what happens with these, and then we will end there. I hope if you suffer the 10 of Swords, I hope it's not too horrific for you, because it can be really nasty, and I'm sorry about that. But if you have warning, at least maybe perhaps you're kind of aware of it, and you can be a little bit better prepared. But don't build anything into these readings. In a lot of ways that's quite dangerous to do. I watched readings, and I had the tower come out in the reading, like massive towers, loads and loads of towers come out in every single reading they were coming out, and I ended up pushing something too fast, and it created the tower. So just be careful, okay? Just be careful. Don't preempt, just kind of wait and see, but be ready if it's happening. You will know if it's coming. Where are we? Right, okay. 3 cards for Libra for this period of time, please, for love. You have the Queen of Autumn. Generous, stylish, gracious and practical. When we were talking, the Queen of Autumn is the Queen of Pentacles, which is what I just said. Generous, stylish, gracious, practical. Be practical with respect to how you proceed. The ability to make everything more beautiful, making someone who will help your dreams come true. There's your soulmate. Unity, which is the Hierophant. Do the right thing for the right reason. Compare traditional versus new approaches to see what works for you, and a spiritually minded community. And the Queen of Spring, 6 of Spring. Wonderful news on its way, smart choices that bring rewards, success and public recognition. I think you're going to be all right. Yeah. 10 of Summer. Look, you have the 10 of Cups now. You have the 10 of Cups now. You started off without the 10 of Cups, now you have the 10 of Cups. And it says, an emotionally fulfilling life with family or friends, raising children wisely, people you can trust. You're going from not having the 10 of Cups with the King of Pentacles in reverse to having the 10 of Cups and a soulmate coming in, okay? You, my darlings, are going to be fine. 10 of Swords might suck. It may well suck. There's never anything good comes out of the 10 of Swords apart from the fact that it's 10. And it's the end of a cycle and the start of something new. So if it helps at all, keep that in mind, okay? And you will be fine. You have got the 10 of Cups coming. Yeah, that was it. I hope you liked it. It was a very, very different way of reading for me. Let me know. Okay, take care. Enjoy. Bye-bye.